Let's talk about the main event here. I think this one doesn't get discussed enough for obvious reasons because of Chris Benoit. We've got the big gold belt on the line. Chris Benoit is our champion. Of course, we're not too far removed from that incredible performance at WrestleMania 20 and the follow up at Backlash. But now here we are, SummerSlam, and we're challenging or we're allowing Randy Orton to be a challenger here. He was born April 1st, 1980. So when he wins, he's going to become the youngest world champion in WWE history. And when I say when he wins, because a lot of people didn't expect that that would be the case. Maybe they thought the fix was in when they realized Earl Hebner was the referee and there's lots of "you screwed Brett" chants. But in the end, none of that mattered. Orton's mouth gets busted open. Benoit's going to go for a crossface. Randy escapes and hits the RKO out of nowhere. And that gets the pin. And there is a huge pop for the 3 count. Fans are excited that they've seen a title change. Maybe they didn't expect that since.
And it was new. It hadn't been done. So again, being new is important, and being fresh is important. And that's what those are a couple of elements of many that those guys brought to the table. Randy's so young, and like I said, people like new. They like new, and we gave them new on that night.
It's amazing to think back on this match because I think if you go back and watch this, and I know some people say they can't watch Benoit matches, and I understand, but Randy Orton looks like he's an old pro at this point. He's still very new in his career, but the chemistry he has with Benoit here, he looks like a main event player. Jim, you've seen them all in your 50 years.
Yep.
As far as just being a natural in-ring talent, where do you think Randy Orton ranks?
Right there at the top of the list, Connor. Sorry to interrupt you. Right there at the top of the list, without question. He's a natural. Pro wrestling was in his DNA. Still is. He still goes out and has as good a match as anybody on the card to this very day. He's talented as hell, and he's brought his game forward with him on through all his title reigns and main events and so forth. But people like new. He was a handsome young guy, fresh. Oh, this whole act had not been replicated. In other words, he didn't have multiple championship runs before this night. So it made all the sense in the world when you think about it logically. But I think that's the whole thing. It proves my point to some degree. Wrestling fans like new, and they like believable new. And Orton, as you said, was so skilled that his believable new sold tickets.
How great was it too? The very next night on Monday Night Raw, we see a turn. The rest of Evolution turns on Orton at the end of the night, and it is a classic moment. You see if you're watching with us on YouTube, Batista has Randy Orton on his shoulders. Of course, Randy was crying the night before when Benoit jumped back in the ring and demanded that you be a man and shake my hand. He's the youngest world champion of all time, and of course, that wasn't Triple H's plan. So he starts with the thumbs up, then does the thumbs down. Randy Orton is now babyface, and Evolution is no more, at least with Randy Orton involved. Now, it's written in the Observer that that wasn't a long-term planned out event. And allegedly, the original idea was to continue with a rematch for Benoit and Orton at Unforgiven. And we would have William Regal team with Eugene to take on Triple H and Ric Flair in a tag team affair. Shawn Michaels would be working against Kane. And then La Resistance would take on Rhino and Tajiri. Those were the matches slotted for Unforgiven. Seeing the reaction Eugene got at SummerSlam, all that's out the window. And now it's going to be Triple H and Randy Orton. And I got to say, I like that creative a lot better. Like, it's hard for me to imagine, as much as I enjoyed the thumbs up, thumbs down thing for Randy Orton and Triple H, that wasn't the plan all along. Because boy, it sure did fit, didn't it?
Yeah, it fit great. It fit really good. You can make an argument that Triple H getting that title opportunity that quick against Randy might have been a little premature. You can make that argument, but you always knew that when the bell rang, they were going to put on a classic. And at the end of the day, that's what, as a booker or administrator, that's what you're always looking for. somebody that's going to carry the load, provide a hell of a product. And those guys did that. I mean, it's just, I wish we could have had something in between and not going right to Randy and Triple H. Not that I didn't like the match. I just thought there's more green grass that we hadn't explored with those guys. We got there quick, and I thought that was a mistake.
Hey, this whole youngest champion record that Randy Orton holds now, he's actually going to be replacing Brock Lesnar as that designated youngest champion. Of course, it happened for Brock 2 years prior at SummerSlam 02 when he beat The Rock. But there's a lot of fans online who think that maybe there was some sort of pettiness involved with Vince McMahon and the WWE's decision making. Hey, well, we don't like Brock Lesnar because he left, so we're going to make sure somebody else is the youngest.
Yeah, I don't think so. I know what you're saying.
Seems silly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is silly. It is. It's very silly. I can't buy that one.
Me either.
Yeah, I don't buy that one. I mean, it makes a good story in the dirt sheets and so forth. Good supposition, but I don't buy that, Conrad.
SaveWithConrad.com.
Mark Taggart from Rantoul, Illinois. My wife started the process with one of the big major corporations, and things were going very badly. And finally, I just stopped and said, hey, listen, I've been listening to the ads for years. Let's go with Save with Conrad and see what we can have happen. We were trying to free up a little space so we could spend down some debt and do some home improvements. We saved quite a bit, and in the long run, we're going to do a lot better with Save with Conrad than we would have anywhere else. It was absolutely beautiful. You know, like Larry and Francis were they were the greatest. Not only were they professional and knew what they were talking about, they were friendly and they cared about the job they were doing, which was so important to me. I would absolutely recommend Save with Conrad to anybody. Hi, this is Mark Taggart from Rantoul, Illinois, and I wanted to do some home improvements and spend down a little debt, and I got hold of Save with Conrad, and we did incredibly.
NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender.
SaveWithConrad.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what AdFreeShows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-Free Shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that AdFreeShows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. AdFreeShows.com.